Welcome to Top Buys, the channel that takes the guesswork out of shopping for the gear and gadgets that you want. So if you're a YouTuber, if you're just a vlogger, or even a professional photographer and you have $1,000, I have the perfect 3 cameras for you to choose from, and I'll help you pick one at the end that I like personally. First up is the Canon 80D. Now it's about $935, which is high, but it's still less than $1,000. It's easy to use, has great LCD screen, has a nice flip up and touchscreen options for the screen as well. You can have custom setting modes that are useful and advanced features. It has good autofocusing, which works well in low light conditions and live view. The image quality is quite well. It's much better than a lot of the older Canon DSLRs. It has really strong build quality, and it's a good value at just under $1,000. However, the cons for this is that you can't assign buttons in the top menu. Also, it's difficult to use with gloves, so you can't really wear gloves with it because the touchscreen options and some of the buttons are similar in shape on the top of the camera, so it's going to be difficult to discern which buttons you're using if you're wearing gloves as well. Autofocus tracking is a little difficult because it has a tendency to lose your subject pretty easily. Also, you only have one card slot, and also you cannot do 4K videos. But for just under $1,000, it's pretty good as an intermediate camera, and you shouldn't have any issues with the learning curve. Next is the Canon M50. Now the Canon M50 comes in at about $649, which is well below the $1,000 mark that we were shooting for. But not only will you get what you pay for, but it is an extremely good camera. Don't let the price fool you. So the pros of this is that it comes with a flip out screen. It has extremely well autofocus. It has mic inputs so that you can actually buy a Rode mic and stick it onto it, or a boom mic if necessary. It has interchangeable lenses. It's really good at 1080p and 4K videos. The image stabilization isn't the greatest. It does do 4K, but is limited to 24 frames per second. There's no dual focus autofocus in the 4K mode, and you'll have slow motion at 120 frames per second, but that's only in 720p. And also, when you take 4K video, it's going to be cropped. However, it's still a great value at well under $1,000. If you're a beginner, this is a great camera and a good buy for you. And last but not least is the Fujifilm's X-E3 camera. Now this camera comes in at just a shade under $1,000 at $999. Of course, it may be a little bit more if you add on extras such as lenses and bags, and so that could raise your price. But as it stands, $999 for this camera. The pros for this camera are, if you are a photographer and you're seeking a nice camera with good controls, excellent image quality, and a great selection of lenses, this is definitely a good camera for that. Not so good for you, or a con, would be that if you're an action photographer and you need ultra high quality 4K video, this is probably not the camera for you. But it still does what it does. It's still a great camera, but it just has a few shortcomings that if you are a professional photographer and you're looking for those things, it won't do what you're going to want it to do. And you may want to look for something else, like one of the previous cameras that I spoke of. In conclusion, if I had to purchase a camera for myself, it would most definitely be the Canon 80D. It is easy to use, it's very intuitive, it has a lot of great features on it that I personally would like, and the cons are far outweighed by the pros. I mean, do I really need, or does anyone really need, unless you're a professional, need to do 4K videos? One SD card slot, not much of anything that's going to detract me from this camera, and it shouldn't detract you either. So if this is a camera that you really like, please make sure that if any of these cameras are to your liking, check the link down below. There are links that can take you directly to these cameras so you can look at them and check them out for yourselves, and also use these links below as well to purchase those items. Have a great day. Don't forget, come back next time when I drop another video for the top buys.
Bye.